Hey guys, thanks for tuning in for another week of At Ping. Our first letter this week is a video submission, which we always appreciate. Let's check it out.
All right, Ping. I got a couple for you. Michael Corley out here at Paula. I know it's Fox Raceway, but it's always going to be Paula to me. But a while ago on your Instagram or I saw a comment that you made about not needing to pull in the clutch when shifting down when you're not on the gas or where there's no stress on the transmission or something along those lines. And so that actually is something that I did not know. Maybe it's a four-stroke thing. I have no idea, but I don't remember doing that when I was riding two-strokes when I was younger. But in doing that, it made me think like, okay, is there any other little tips or any other little things that I'm not doing that maybe more experienced riders or pro level riders or whatever maybe do? And is it something that normal weekend warriors like myself can do, or is it something that's going to tear up my motor, tear up my transmission, tear up things? That is something that worries me, because these, pro guys, they have millions of dollars in budgets and things like that. Me, it's just a little bit. So anything like that. And then also with Paris being taken over by, it looks like a riding group of a bunch of different people coming together. I don't know those guys that well, but Elsinore did this a while back where they kind of like revamped the track. Fox has done it. Do you see anything like that continuing to happen in Southern California? Do you think that maybe it's something that some of these companies will start doing for marketing purposes, maybe on the East Coast, West Coast, whatever? But maybe that will inject a little bit into this sport from the top, down. So not sure if that makes sense, but to me it was something that I thought of. I'm gonna get ready to do some motos. Hope you and the family are well. Have a good one. Thanks, man.
All right, so good question. Thanks for the letter. Yeah, there's some things that I think when we made a switch to four strokes, there's definitely been some change in the way that you ride them. And although this isn't one of them, even on two strokes, you never needed to pull your clutch in to downshift. If you're coming into a turn and going from fourth down to second, it's just a bang, bang. I mean, you just snap it down into second gear, let that engine brake help slow you down. That's a big part of slowing down and setting up for a turn. The engine is gonna be much more consistent in terms of controlling rear wheel speed than you would be with your rear brake, with your foot. There's no way you can be that consistent. It's based off RPMs and drag, and it will kind of be obviously harder braking the faster you're going, and as you slow down, it will gradually decrease wheel drag until you're into the turn. You just can't be that consistent and smooth on your brake pedal. So that transmission is actually a big tool for getting you slowed down and settled into a turn. And as far as upshifting, you don't really need the clutch there either. I always tell people, try to look for, like, if there's a little jump or a bump out of the turn where you unload the weight of the bike, grab a gear, because you don't need to touch the clutch at all and you're right back on the gas. If it's a flat, straight, or deep and the engine is loaded, just a little quick feathering of the clutch. I mean, I'm talking an eighth of a pull, really, really quickly with some tension on that shift lever, and it should go. So I want to say that, sorry, I'm getting text messages. We've got a new project coming out that I've been working on really hard the last 8 months, but it's really gotten some traction in the last couple here. We're getting content done. We're a couple months from launching it, but it's going to be a coaching platform unlike anything you've ever seen. Over 200 US Supercross, Motocross, and Grand Prix wins among my coaches, and close to 50 championships among those coaches as well, of which I contributed none. So you can see that it's a pretty legit group of guys. In fact, here is our logo. So it won't be long. Really excited to show that to you guys, because it's gonna change the way where people go and how they access information when they want to improve anything that has to do with motorcycle riding. So stay tuned for that. It's gonna be really cool. Thank you so much, Mike, for sending in that video. I really enjoy getting them, and appreciate. Oh, you had another question about tracks revamping. I didn't quite get it. It was a little convoluted for me. If you mean just revive the track, rebuild it, switch it up, I think it's a great way to just keep people excited about riding. There is some track ownership changes going on. Paris specifically, there's a new track being built just right down the road from Paris. Paula, which you were at when you sent the video, they just did a full rebuild. It's going the other direction, I think kind of prepping for the national. So a lot of changes, and I think that keeps it fresh for us when we got to the track. I don't know about you, but I get excited when it's a new layout, just learning new jumps and kind of figuring a track out. To me, I really enjoy that. So as far as that goes, I agree. It's a great way to keep people excited and sort of feed money into the sport and enthusiasm from the top down. All right, second question says, as a big fan of the Whiskey Throttle show and all the stories told on it, I was curious if we'd ever see an episode with your dad. It would be great to hear some perspective on the stories you've told. Love all you do for the moto community. Thanks again, Andy. So, Andy, I've thought about this before, and I'm not going to say no. My dad's just in kind of poor health at this point. He's in his mid-70s and did a lot of drinking and smoking in his younger days, and that catches up with you. I would love to have him on for a lot of reasons. I would get a kick out of hearing his take on some of the things that, some of the stories from my career and just from a dad's perspective, which is a perspective I don't have. I have girls, we're doing soccer. So from a parent's perspective and going racing and seeing your kids take risks and the money you spend and the time, I'd love to hear that stuff. I'm going to try it still. But sometimes you hit a breakover point where it's not going to happen. We tried really hard to get Malcolm Smith on the show. He tried really hard, and he's just gotten to a place where he's like, yeah, I'm not, it's just not going to be feasible. So we'll see. I'm going to try my best. And I appreciate you saying that though. I think it would be great stories. I think any dad, in fact, we've kicked around the idea of a live show with like several dads, maybe Jeremy's and Josh Grant's and, I don't know, some other local dad here that had a kid who made it. So stay tuned. We're going to try to make something like that happen. Appreciate the note, Andy. Last one says, Ping, what do Hurlings, Plessinger, Anderson, Febvre, and all have in common? Broken feet and heels. And also they all wear A-Stars Tech-10s. It seems these boots with the booties transfer way too much energy to the riders in a crash. Would love to hear your thoughts. DL. Okay, this is like kind of what our mainstream news does. They take a fact or statistic and twist it. Yes, all of those riders have hurt their ankles and feet, and they're all wearing Alpinestars, but they're also all championship winners. They're all riding at the very, very pointy end of the pack. And I would say more riders wear Alpinestars than any other boot. It's largely accepted as the best boot out there. And I don't think a lot of folks within the industry who really have an opportunity to ride multiple brands would argue that. It's like saying that most car crashes happen within 2 miles of your home. Well, yeah, because statistically, you're going to spend more time driving within 2 miles of your home than any other place. So it's a statistical average that it's going to happen. And this is no different. You have most riders wearing these Tech-10s at the highest level. Go ahead and look down the start line at a Supercross or an MXGP. It's a lot of A-Stars Tech-10s. And there's a reason for that. It's a great boot. Okay, these guys push it. They have big crashes. And, if they land on their feet, I don't care what they're wearing. If it's the old plastic Scott boots, A-Stars, or any other brand, your body has to transfer that energy of an impact somewhere. And when you land on your feet, it's just typically going to be somewhere in your foot, ankle, or tib, fib. That's just a reality of it. So I think you're kind of out of line here, blaming it on the boot. I don't care what boots those guys were wearing. The crashes they had that hurt their feet, they were going to get hurt no matter what. So that's my take there. But I appreciate the note and the feedback, and thank you guys for sending letters. As always, love videos if you can get them in. There's multiple ways you can do that. So try if you can, and we'll see you next Friday. Thank you for tuning in.